to the Whiskey Cowboy Live. Today's date is July 11th, 2023. It is Tuesday. It's a beautiful Tuesday. So get everything going up here. Wait for folks to join the room. And those people who have joined, please type up and say hello. I'm trying to rearrange all of my goodies here. All of my goodies here. On Sunday, the internet connection was foobar. Hey, Al has joined us tonight. How you doing, Al? Al is my brother from another mother, from Ireland. He is another whiskey reviewer out there. He has a channel here on YouTube. Make sure that you check it out. Whiskey Straight Al at YouTube. How's the volume out there, Al? Do I need to turn it up? I've got my AC on, so let's turn this up just a little bit. 2222. I think that's about better, but you might hear the AC in the background running. We tried it on Sunday, and folks thought that the slight annoyance of the AC running in the background was better than running background music over it. Al says, doing much better hearing your voice. Volume is spot on. Thank you. The weather has been awful here. I'm glad that you are feeling a little bit better. Feeling a little bit better. You know, you can still join us on Zoom. If you have Zoom meeting, you can log into the Zoom meeting and you can chat live if you like. It's not a requirement, but it is up there. It's in the description. Again, those who are regulars in the show, they're familiar with it. The number is in the description. And then it'll let you into the room. The number is also the live studio line, U.S. only. Al says the weather has been grim here too. June was great, July awful so far. Yeah, what's it like for you for weather? It's been raining, hot, and humid here. Tonight's coffee is caramel macchiato from New England brand. No, it is not a sponsored spot. And so far, so good. Have no warnings for a loss of signal yet. Folks will notice another slight change in the show layout. We've got, of course, I'm in the camera straight ahead here. We have a larger internet and media section over here. And down below, we've got a larger but squished out section for the Zoom folks. Al says, raining here for the last 2 weeks. Still warm but nasty weather. Yeah, Vermont, which is just west of New Hampshire, and I'm in New Hampshire, they've had some serious flooding. So they've been doing a lot of cleanup and trying to keep above the water. I'm on high ground here. Not an issue. Let's see, we still have only, one person in the room still? Yeah. YouTube says only one. That can't be counted on. It may or may not be accurate. So tonight is again another test run. My ISP, I switched to another ISP to get a lot more data, a lot faster flow. And wouldn't you know it, they chose that time shortly after I I switched over to upgrade all their lines in the area. So they've been sorting that out. Got in another tech notice via text earlier today saying that maybe outages tomorrow. So. Yeah, Al says at least you're free from Greta Van Doomberg. Greta Van Doomberg. Is that the same Greta? Is that the how dare you, Greta? If it is, what's she doing? She visiting Ireland? Yeah, she's a wackadoo. I guess now the great strategy from the Biden folks is to release statements and interviews by staffers at the White House saying how mean Biden is to show that he's like spry and everything like that. Yeah, to me it's more like, no, he's just an old codger. Al says, yep, that doomsday goblin god. I hope she stays away from here. Yeah, she's something else. She's a piece of work. You saw when she was in was it Norway where they had the wind farms and she was protesting because of it was Aboriginal Norwegian reindeer herders land, like they can't herd reindeer underneath windmills. I don't know. And that's what she was pushing for, is let's get more windmills and solar and stuff like that. So then she's got to protest windmills as well. Have no idea how much of a delay there is. There's a loop, and there's always a loop, and there's going to be a delay. The last couple times we've been on, the gals have been saying that it's been quite extensive. But you may have noticed it or may have not noticed it. You may have missed it. I don't know, Al. A couple shows ago, I went to start the show and had a catastrophic computer failure right before the show. Lost everything. Lost all my scenes for the show on the streaming software. So I had to rebuild the whole thing. So Al said she deleted her end of the world tweet a few weeks ago when we didn't all go boom. Oh, I didn't even know that she gave an end of the world tweet. Yeah, it says she's a wackadoodle. Let's go on over to Facebook and see. Reload this up and see what we got. People jumping to. Well, there's the link. See, folks, I put a link directly on Facebook for all you Facebook folks, letting you know that the show is live. Look at that. It's got a link right in the post. Got a link right there, right there. See? Ooh. So there's no excuse for you folks on Facebook to not migrate over here. The show was doing good on Facebook until they canceled my live streaming ability for a month. So we moved it over here. And the show actually tends to work better over here on YouTube. Hey, Laurel. Welcome to the show. Al says, she said we'd all die from climate change, but hey, it didn't happen. Who would have thought it? Yeah, I mean, from climate change. Climate has been changing since the Earth was formed. It's what it does. And in fact, it's seen a lot more radical switches and changes than in the whole entire span of human history. So Laurel, you saw I posted up about the paddle. I was notified that it should be shipped out tomorrow. Should be shipped out tomorrow. For those not familiar, let me pull this up. Here we go. I ordered up one of these beauties right here from Fischel Paddles. He is pretty much a one-man show out of California. He is taking over for a master paddle builder. And I've always wanted a special paddle and never got around to getting one. So I've got a standard beaver tail from Bending Branches. I have what I call my sneak paddle. It's a fatter, wider, shorter paddle for lower water and rocks. And then I have a kayak paddle if I need to get someplace fast. But I don't have a really good otter tail, and these are modified otters. So Laura says, I saw that. Can't wait to see you out on the river with it. Yeah, rivers and lakes. So I don't know where I'm going to go first. It's a deep water paddle, so maybe the Merrimack, maybe the Lake Massabesic. Call that Jesus Lake, because you get a fine if you step foot in it. You can canoe, kayak, and motorboat in it, but you can't swim. You can't wade in it. And it's like, yeah, go figure. Al says, damn right. It's been changing and regulating since the dawn of time. And those who shout about that have bought shorefront mansions. Sorry, the text is small. People are so stupid. Yeah. Obama was a big one in a lot of the folks in that circle, getting these mansions on the coastlines, and the water's going to rise, and we're gonna have catastrophic loss of land. It's like, no, you wouldn't be buying your oceanfront property if that was the case. So only three people, 2 family members and Miss Laurel donated for the paddle, because it's a bit pricey. People can still help offset the cost. You can just go to the donation link. There's one underneath the show, and you can make a donation and say, hey, happy paddling or what have you, and help offset the costs. Yes, people are so stupid. I agree. I have had my fill of stupid people lately. Had my fill. But yeah, as you see right now, I don't have to view the internet and other media. I don't have to switch scenes because I've made it large enough where I can just pull it right in. Another feature, again, that I have is camera off. Camera off. So I can mute myself or camera off. Al goes, I've lived by the seaside for 50 years. I still haven't had to build an ark. Well, get to it. Get to it. Get that ark built. Of course, with the rain for the past few weeks, it seems like you might need one. Hey, how's that AC noise in the background for folks? Hey, Peggy. She says, hi there. I'm glad that you have fixed the internet issues. I haven't fixed anything. It's just working. I'd mentioned in the beginning of the show that it's still touch and go. I've had crappy off and on internet today. And I got a message in from the ISP folks that they will be working in the area tomorrow, so there may be outages. So I said, I'll go ahead and do it. Laurel says, didn't notice it. Good. Well, what I have done is I've turned all my other volumes up, and I've turned my mic volume down, and I'm actually speaking a little bit closer to it so I can mitigate any background noise. And when I don't talk, two. Yeah, the background noise is showing up about a third on my meter of green. Now, when I speak, I want it to go into yellow and peak into the red. That's where I want to when I speak. And hopefully, my voice isn't all forced. A couple shows ago, the whole volume was all messed up, and you could hear that the system was pushing it, so the sound was really crappy. Al says the AC is okay. I'm not sure if it's that or my oxygen that has some noise. Either way, great to see you. You here again. Thank you, Al. Thank you. Yeah, it might be both. Maybe your oxygen machine is canceling out my AC. But it's good to have you. Good to have you drop in on the show. And I know it's a good bit later there. What time is it there in Ireland? It's now 8:19 where I'm at. Was it like 12, 1 o'clock? Hey, Judy. Welcome to the show. Glad you could make it. We're getting in more people. We need to get the whole crew back here. I don't know if Gus is going to make it tonight, Gus and Sally. They've been really busy. I'm excited for them to have some changes. It's like, oh, good job, Gus. You and Sally deserve it. And I haven't had a single warning for dropped frames since I started the show. Okay, Al says it's 1:19. Okay, that's what I thought. I guess it was midnight or 1. It's pretty late. Pretty late. No, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know why, folks. I have no idea why folks have not migrated over to YouTube. I'm going to have to put out another post probably tomorrow and say, hey, we need you folks over here. What I may end up doing is, if we don't get a relatively adequate crew coming over each time, I might drop down to 2 shows a week and see how that works. And then if we need more shows, and we can do more shows. I have not been able to get back out on the water yet. It's been raining. Laurel says it makes no sense not to come over here. It's so much smoother. It is. It is. And hey, I got the camera working now, and I've got the camera set up so that I don't have alien head. So it's like, okay, this is pretty much what I look like. The alien head crap, the first couple shows that are still up on YouTube, I may or may not take them down. I've taken one down. It was just so horrible. But it was like, no, it's I don't have a moon face. So we've got that taken care of. As everybody rushes back to the old shows to find out what moon face was. It's proximity warp. When I turn my head, I look like sort of like a bearded Jay Leno. It's stretched out the whole face. But yeah, this is better. I like the chat area here. I don't have to run it. I don't have to run the chat up on the show itself, so that when people watch it later, they get the chat in real time with the show. Because it's set up that if you watch the show later, the chat, and you run the chat next to the show, it will come up just like it came up on the show. See, I couldn't do that with Facebook. It just has everything out there. So what I'd have people do is at the end of the show, at like the next day or the next 2 days, people would make comments on the show, realizing or maybe not realizing it wasn't live, and then their comments just get put in weird places, and it's a pain in the ass. This is easier to start up. It's easier to get going. People wanted me to go on Rumble, but it's different. The setup's different. Al says, yes, it's late, but given my situation, it is what it is, what it's like. My breakfast is normally supper time. Yeah, that can happen. I don't know. I can't imagine you'd be sleeping very long at any given time. Judy says, we need to all like and share your posts about the YouTube. I will. Yes, thank you, Judy. Yeah, and it's funny because there's people that have been liking my notifications, but they're not joining the show. So I have no idea what's going on with that. It is possible for me. I can actually stream on multiple places. I could, if Facebook wasn't blocking me, I could stream on Facebook. I can do it here. I could do it Rumble. I can do it a couple other places. The problem is then I'd have to pay extra. If I keep things the way it is right now, I can stream at one place, and YouTube is the most sensible place. Oh, and speaking of like and sharing, since Facebook decided to spank me, my reach has gone to virtually nothing. The participation on my page and the viewers from actual members that follow my content has dropped off. Everything has dropped off. I went from for 3 days straight, 1,000 members, new members. There's 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 members joined and followed my page. To now, I've had it since 3 weeks now? Not even 100 new members following. Al says, Rumble only works for the big guys who move over. Otherwise, it's no good. Yeah, and the audience is different. The audience is different, and what it takes to start your show and do your show is much more complicated. So unless you have a big following, it's just a pain in the ass. It's not worth it to live stream. Now, I'm going to put my standard videos up on Rumble, and I had it set up so that if I ever decided to live stream, that I can. So I've got a channel over there, and I recommend people just follow it anyway. Subscribe to my channel over on Rumble, so that if I get up and running, you're already set. Judy says, I really do like it here. Well, YouTube is what people are used to. The format's easy. So I don't get. Everybody uses YouTube. Oh, but they censor things. Yeah, okay. So does Facebook. And people were going to my show on Facebook. So come here. I'm not worried about being monetized. Judy says, I have to go to your page. I'm not getting anything in your feed. On the YouTube feed? That's weird. That is weird. Did you hit the bell icon to get notified? Because you got to not just subscribe, but subscribe and then make sure that, because now it's like a drop down. Laurel says Facebook censors more than YouTube. Yes, they do. Pretty much all I have to do is make sure that I stay away from like misgendering people, and that's it. That's all I got to do. So everything else is I'm free and clear. It's not a problem because I put most of my hard hitting stuff in text format on Facebook for folks. But yeah, Judy, make sure that you hit the bell icon. Let's see here. Okay, because like right here, this is my YouTube feed, and my live stream came right up. All the goodies in my feed. But yeah, let's see here. Let's go to. Oh, Judy says I get notifications from YouTube. Oh, okay, good. Now that's fine. But you should also get notified when I post up on Facebook and say, hey, the show is live, and I put a link. But Facebook isn't giving notifications. I got 52 subscribers now. 6 videos up. Rookie numbers doesn't even pop up. I some of the other shows that I watch is like, oh my God, they got like 12,000, 25,000, 500,000 people viewing. It's like, yeah, okay, it'd be nice. Laurel says, Judy, I have to go to his page every day to be able to see everything. Yeah, it's horrible. It is horrible. It is horrible. And you probably noticed I have reduced the amount of stuff that I put out every day. It's because people aren't seeing it anyways. I'm not going to be putting in all those hours when Facebook is reducing. Even those people who have subscribed to my page and they want to see it, they can't see it. So I put out a minimal amount of stuff, some old stuff that's relevant, some new stuff that's definitely relevant, memes that I find or memes that I make, and just keep the content at least flowing until they stop throttling my content. Because I was at 6 million views a day. 6 million views a day on my content to virtually nothing. Yeah, Laurel says it doesn't show up in your feed. It goes right, because Facebook has dropped all of my content in everybody's feeds, and it's not recommending it to people anymore. Like I said, I went from 6 million views a day to nothing, relatively speaking. Peggy says, I was just notified that my response to you was too long. In a nutshell, it took me a while to get used to the new platform. Oh, you're talking about here on YouTube, right? Yeah, it's shorter. You've got to do shorter things. I also have a spam filter on there so that you can't post more than, I think it's 10 seconds in between each of your posts. Laurel says that's because you tell the truth and they don't like it. That could be, yeah. Al says when they don't like you, you're doomed. Yeah, it's hard. It's funny because they're like, oh, keep up with the good work, and you've got new fans, and you've got new top fans, and all this other crap, and oh, you've got some new followers. Yeah, in the past 3 weeks, I have gotten 70 new followers. 70 new followers in 3 weeks. 70 new followers in 3 weeks. Let me say that again. 70 new followers in 3 weeks. Before that happened, I was getting 1,000 a day when my stuff spiked. And I can tell when they stopped censoring me, because they stopped censoring me for about 4 days before they hit me again. Yeah, they throttled me back, and they spanked me because I posted something that was against their community standards. So they said. And the exact violation was promoting violent and terrorist organizations, and they don't allow that. Oh, because what did I post up? I posted up a meme that equated the alphabet Nazis with the other Nazis, and how they help the mentally ill by sterilizing them. That wasn't promoting a terrorist organization. That was called satirical. It was, in fact, quite the opposite of promotion. And I requested a review, and within a minute or so, they said, oh, we reviewed it, and it's still against the community standards. Like, there's no way in hell that you had a person review that within a minute of me saying to review it. It was just another bot. But that prompted the move over here. So like, you can't do calls on Facebook for, I think, a week. I couldn't do live streaming for 30 days. I couldn't join or interact with other groups for 30 days. There was a bunch of stuff. Thankfully, I could still post. So I've been able to keep the page rolling. But yeah. That's what it was. Let's see here. It says I got four folks in there on YouTube. Still waiting for Gus and Sally to jump on over here. I don't think Gus has been on YouTube yet, has he? Or did he once? Maybe once. Laurel, Judy, has Gus been in the Zoom meeting on YouTube yet? Okay, Laurel showing 5. Yeah, like I said, it's a wonky with numbers. Those need to be followed by quite a few zeros. Laurel says, I think the first time. Yeah, because I think I remember. Yeah, it had to have been like the first time. Yeah. Yeah, because he was asking about, being comfortable on camera and stuff like that. Peggy says, I've had several Facebook friends get threatened with sanctions the last couple of weeks. Yeah, they're ramping it up. I've had a few members tell me that. Judy says, not at all. I don't know what not at all was for. Let's see here. Judy forgot about something. Says, I forgot I still have the caps on. Laurel says she's been throttled for over a year. It doesn't matter as my page is private and friends only. Yeah, mine, it mattered. It mattered huge. My last major timeout ended in January, and my content was still throttled. But even as that went on, I could get about 100 new followers a month. So I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. 100 a month, at least it's growth. Like I said, just before this last one, my reach 6 million a day. Lord Almighty. Let's see if I can. Judy says Gus was on that first show. Yeah, that show was a mess. Okay, let's see here. I can't find. I'm trying to find the stats to show you folks. It's like a hockey stick. It's like this, and then they stopped throttling me, and it went way up here. And then they gave me a ban, and it dropped just as quick. Wham! It's like, oh man, not cool, not cool. I gotta try to contact Greta Thunberg so I can get her on Al's whiskey review show, the Greta and Al show. Maybe you guys can share a dram. It's my gift for you, Al. And Donna hasn't been back. See what I should do is haven't been on a video drive yet, or again since that first one either. Oh, see, there we go. Wee. It was a miserable, hazy day. Yeah, she didn't show up the last show. And she's not here. But, you know, people get on with life, and that's fine. Says we got 6 folks in here now. For the new folks joining in, this is just part of my video of the very first official On the Water with the Whiskey Cowboy. That was June 12th this last year. You'll note I am not wearing my cowboy hat. That is my canoeing hat. Just a fishing hat with a drawstring so that if it gets windy, it doesn't blow off. Light on the head and has a vent around the top, so keeps me cooler. This right here is in the Contoocook River from Hopkinton to Henniker. Judy says the view is beautiful. Yeah, I love being out there. Love being out there. Hal says you live to give, brother. Methinks Greta would love to share a dram on the water with me. Yeah. Yeah. She needs something to loosen her up. Get her on track. Get her on track. Laurel says so peaceful. It is. It is. There's something about being out on the water. Get a nice rhythmic J stroke going there. Now, right up there, that's actually a little tributary. You can't see it very well, but I'm pointing the bow of the canoe straight at it. The human eye, you could see it better than the camera's picking it up, but that's why I stopped and spun there and then taken back off again. There you go. You get the Now, is that volume too loud? Is it drowned out my voice? Or because see, now you can hear the paddling and the birds. Laurel says perfect. All right. So yeah, I don't know whether my first outing with the new paddle will be either the Merrimack, which is a good and deep river, at least up in these parts, or whether I'll take it to, Massabesic or something like that. And I fixed Zippy today. I had to put in a new vapor. I don't know what you call it. It's a vapor lock. It stops the gas vapors from going into your cylinders. She was not happy. The part went bad, so I had to get a new part and put that in. Pretty easy fix. Yeah, the rivers are all rising. Yeah. And funny enough, not only have all the rivers risen and we have no water shortage, we got our notification that we're on a water shortage schedule again this summer. It's like, why? But where I'm at, it's not as bad as what Vermont has. Vermont, I guess, has had some major flooding. Al says, as a former lifeboat crew member, there is nothing like getting out to sea. Otherwise, I'm not a fan of the sea. Too dangerous. Yeah. I'm not a big ocean guy. Also, big lakes. I'd stay near shore. That's fine. But rivers, small lakes, large ponds. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Laurel says the pictures out of Vermont were wicked. Yeah, we got a similar thing back a couple years ago here in New Hampshire. Yeah, they had a lot of problems, but we're fine here. And like I said, I'm on high water here. There's a river. If you go out the front of my house, there's one, then go another block and a half straight out my front door, then there's another river there. But we are well above waterline. Yeah, my nose was itching. Oh. Yeah, this river here, especially this stretch, would probably be quite a bit higher right now than in the video. Yeah, see, I switched paddles. You probably didn't notice that I switched paddles. I'm in a little bit lower water area now, so I've got what I call the sneak paddle. Shorter, wider. Most of the time I'm using the beaver tail. Love this little canoe. It's a solo canoe, North Star. It's a North Star Phoenix with black light layup. That's a Kevlar. That's why it looks kind of orangish yellow Kevlar with a carbon fiber weave on the outside for strength. So it looks black from the outside, looks yellow from the inside. Al says, what you're doing here, brother, is what life is all about. Love it. Thank you. I agree. And I've been trying to get back out. I just neglected getting out on the water for years. And I said, no, let's get out there. Get back out there and away from humanity and just quietness, stillness, listening to quietness. Animals. You hear the animals talking. Judy says that's just gorgeous, and the sounds of the water and birds, man. Oh, I agree. Which is why most of most of the video, except for the beginning and the very end, there's no music, no talking, because there's all sorts of people out there they just talk. It's like, no, this is what it sounds like. It's just the sound of the paddle, the sound of the water, the sound of nature. And yes, Laurel, it is good for the soul. Which I've got to get back out there. It's been raining. It's been raining. But as you know, I have been outside working most of the time anyways in between the rain, but I just haven't been able to leave the house to do anything like this. And me and the missus haven't been able to go out on our drives either. Yeah, if you... Oh, here's the sound in there. If you notice, I'm gonna back it up a little bit, and you're gonna see sparkles. And I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" Now watch this. You should watch some sparkles show up over the bow of the canoe. Did you see them? It would do that periodically through the video when I was editing, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on with that?" Can anybody think about what that was? What do you think those sparkles were? Anybody have a guess what those sparkles were? I know we've got a lag, so I don't know how long I'm supposed to... How long the lag is before I go ahead and answer. Laurel says not a clue. It's when I switched paddling sides. You don't see the paddle because I'm going up over the camera when I switch from right to left. But when I do that, all the water comes off the paddle and it would just sprinkle out, in front of me. And that's what you're seeing is the light off of the paddle drips as I'm switching sides from right to left. But you'll also notice that I'm canoeing on even keel. I don't paddle kneeling in the tumble home because I canoe flat and I sit down on the seat, and I've got a drop seat, so I'm low, but I'm sitting in the seat, and it keeps the canoe on even keel. Now, when I was younger and when I was in a bigger canoe, I'd kneel and the canoe would go up on edge like this, because you're kneeling in the tumble home, and then you're running the canoe this way through the water. So instead of flat and keel like this, you're using your secondary stability, which is the tumble home, and you're running on that. And I'm not, because I'm sitting. Al says, wish I was there. This is about what life is about. We all get mixed up in things, and at the end of the day, don't help us in any way at all. You've got it sorted, brother. Well, I try. I'll just go ahead and we'll start it. There's my baby right there. Let's go here. got my seat back on. We talked about those as well. These are actually pipe insulation, but they come pre-split. They're almost like pool noodles, but they come pre-split, and they're black, so it goes well. And that's where my knees rest. So instead of on the gunnel here, which can get hard after a long day on the water, they just rest against this pipe insulation, and it's just comfortable. And that was just when I was setting out. Get a little past the, there we go. Yeah, I wish you were here too, Al. Get you out on the water. I'm not too keen about the gloves. I might have to replace them just because I don't like them. I like the gloves themselves. I don't like the color. They were supposed to just be gray, and they're more of a blue color. It's like, no. So. And for folks that may be watching this now or later in time, we don't usually run this type of thing in the background. This is a nice casual show. We don't have a whole lot of people here. And as usual, if anybody has a topic that they'd like to talk about, by all means, bring it up and we'll discuss it. We keep most of the politics and other stuff like that on the Facebook content. The Whiskey Cowboy Live show is more like just a bunch of friends getting together and shooting the breeze about things and laughing when possible and talking about memories. Oh, our last shows, if you'd followed up on Facebook, and they're still on Facebook, you can go to the video section, you can watch them, but I don't have a camera on. Talk about everything from cars to history to geography to food, health, you name it. So it's a place where folks who follow my content can just sit and talk. Oh man, I need to get back out there. How's the video for folks? Clear enough? I know I asked, but there's been changes to settings and stuff. So. Laurel says very clear. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, this is the first Whiskey Cowboy show on the water. Ish. On the water-ish. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to replace those gloves. I mean, they're serviceable. They're good gloves, but I don't like the blue. I just don't like the blue. The coffee, I mentioned that earlier in the show. You might not have been here. It's caramel macchiato from New England brand. Caramel macchiato. New England brand coffee. Yeah, Al, have you ever been to the States? I had other people comment that they enjoyed the camera angles. All of this footage is one camera. So I've got a setup so that I can move it around rather quickly and do some of the shots that I want, and then with editing it makes it better. If I had more cameras, it'd be a whole lot easier to do it, but I've got the system down pretty good. Al says, gotta head off to bed, brother. Great catching up. Yeah, it was nice having you on the show. You didn't answer Laurel's question, though, if you've been to the States. But you get some rest. That's funny. Laurel says, good night, Al. Looks like good night, AI. Artificial intelligence. Oh, awesome. Says he's been to the States 3 times. The last time was in 2019. And he loves the USA. Yeah, it's amazing. So many people outside the USA love the United States more than too many people inside it does. I think it's because most of those people, they haven't been anyplace else other than the United States, so they don't know. Five times. He said 3 times. He goes, no. Gotta correct it 5 times. The United States is a continent unto itself in more ways than one. If you've lived in Europe and been in Europe, it's not the same thing. You can travel through three countries, distinct countries in a day. If you plan your trips right in Europe. In the United States, you can go sometimes 3 days and just a state or 2, depending upon what state you're going to go through. But I'm glad the AC is not that big of a deal for folks. I'll have to verify later after I shut things down. Listen to the show. But I think the key is to keep my microphone volume lower and speak closer to it. Peggy says the U.S. has changed a lot in 4 years. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It has brought out all of the fears and dangers that I warned people about over the decades. And people go, how did the Germans allow to happen in 1930s Germany? Yeah. Look at the United States in the past 4 years. That's how. Don't think you're so superior. Laurel says, if you say you've been to Alaska, I will tell you you didn't visit the USA. Judy says USA is amazing. So much to see. There is. Al says, I wear a USA blue line badge every day to support USA Leos. Yeah, I'd like to. I support them when I can. Call them out when they're screwing up. And sadly, in the past 4 years, a lot of them have been screwing up. Yeah, here's the halfway point, just shy of the rapids, just south of Henniker. Yes, Al is a former police officer as well. We are members of the Brotherhood. Laura says one of her best friends is a Leo that has 3 years before she retires. Where's she working at, Laurel? And for folks who may be tuning in, when we've got more people, the conversation flows a lot more rapidly, and we tend to cover a lot more topics. So we're in a slow lull where we're trying to get the normal group members back over. Laura says Georgia, just a couple of counties out of Atlanta. Now, is she a local PD? Or she work for a sheriff's department? City, yeah. Al says he was a police officer for 16 years until he got into a bad injury on duty and was forced to retire. Yeah, that was a shame. Don't need that music running. Part of the reason in this part of the video that I added more music to it was you don't notice it much in the video itself, but the wind had picked up, so it was hitting the microphone on the camera. I was like, no, can't have that. Yeah, it's always bad when somebody leaves the force because they were injured. It's best if they just leave because they want to leave. Or they've retired. Let's go back over here. Throw a different. Now you're on a drive. This is one of my favorite roads to drive in New Hampshire. I got a few of them. Man. Nose itching. Hey, good night, Al. Thank you very much for stopping in. Sorry the conversation was a little slow. But it was great to have you joining us again. Another simple thing in life, simple joys, nice drive. I can't remember who it was asking how old this trestle was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how old this was. But it's definitely just a single. It's only like 8.5 feet and 1 lane wide. Somebody had commented as well that, oh, a lot of motorcycles. No, it was a lot more than what's shown there, and on some of the other roads was a lot more than this one. Judy says that countryside is beautiful. Love the old buildings. It is beautiful. This is New Hampshire driving here. The video belays just how twisty this part of the road is. It's like a roller coaster. Laurel says, I have always loved to drive. I will hop in the truck and drive 10 hours to see my sister in Finger Lakes of New York. Oh, beautiful area up there, too. Yeah, upstate New York is wonderful. Vermont's pretty as well. I like driving through Vermont, but there's a lot of rundown places in Vermont. You can go from absolutely picturesque, looks like out of a movie set towns, to absolutely Hickville trash and buildings falling apart and cars and junkyards everywhere. New Hampshire's got some areas like that, but not to the degree that Vermont does. Laurel says, sounds like Georgia or Kentucky. Yeah. Some parts of Tennessee are like that, too. Of course, Louisiana. yeah, you got some parts like, yeah, so, see the guys. Spider-Man, I think, was from Louisiana. He hasn't come back over, hasn't migrated to the new show. Osei, he's from Ghana. He hasn't come over. He's made it to my page several times, but hasn't migrated over to the new show yet. There's somebody from Florida, a guy and a gal from Florida. They haven't made it to the show. There's a gal from Massachusetts. She pops in every once in a while. Her husband and family, and she does it as well, colonial reenacting. She hasn't made it back to the show. Woody, he's out in California, but he's been busy. I think his wife was doing some training for the border patrol or something like that. So yeah, we got a bunch of folks that need to come in. Gus and Sally, I'm sure they'll be back. Like I said, they've been super busy as well. They've been doing stuff with the camp, and they've got other good news going on. So. Whee! Man, I love driving these roads. You don't get roads like this out in even Oklahoma doesn't have roads quite like this. Some, but not anywhere to this extent. I think Donna was Arkansas. I think she said Arkansas. In the Ozarks. It's very similar to this. Yeah, and see, this is a relatively fast drive. It's a speed limit drive. It's a speed limit drive. Sometimes we go out and it's the classic old folks on a Sunday drive. So we go much slower, but that's usually through some of the classic farm areas and stuff like that. We want to see the landscapes and the farms and everything. Judy says, I can see why you love it. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Hey, love Oklahoma. Love Texas. But like I said, 4 distinct seasons up here. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful driving. I mean, you don't get driving like this down there. And the trees come in and they hug you. It's just green. I try to tell people how green it is. It's very green. Very green state. Yeah, it's funny. I talked about that too. Green Mountains, Vermont, the Green Mountain State. New Hampshire is the Granite State. There's more granite quarried out of Vermont than there is New Hampshire, and New Hampshire is damn well green. Laurel says that the road that she lives off of is very curvy and a couple of deep drops with 90-degree turns. I scare a lot of people when they drive it for the first time. Yeah, that's very similar to the road out this drive here, but out by closer to Lake Winona, and you can't see it as well. But there's a couple turns, and they're very old roads, so they weren't graded the right way, so they're actually graded opposite. Ideally you want to grade the road into the turn. So if you're turning right, your upper left-hand side is higher than the right-hand side, and vice versa. Well, in the old days, they just made the roads, and sometimes, due to the way they wanted the water to run off, it's graded the opposite direction. So when you're driving, and especially at speed, your car's doing things it really shouldn't be doing, because you're going in the wrong directions. So it can be quite interesting driving. But, oh man, to drive. So I have some drives scheduled. I've got to drive up the Kangamungus Highway, the Kankasaurus Rex. That takes you up through the White Mountains, just south of Mount Washington. And I usually go from Conway on the east to Lincoln on the west. Now, if you go north from Lincoln, then you can get up to the Bethlehem area. And if you go there east again, you're on the Presidential Highway. So then you're north of Mount Washington, and you're going through the Presidential Mountain Range, and that's pretty as well. So I may end up doing a loop, going east to west on the Kangamungus, and then from Bethlehem west, but going east to Conway again. Make 2 videos out of that, post those up. It's a good drive. Another drive I need to get in for folks is the east side of Winnipesaukee. So you go from Alton Bay and drive east, well, on the east side of Winnipesaukee. Drive north through Wolfboro, Tuftonboro, up to Moultonboro. That's a nice drive. So it's a nice drive from Wolfboro up. From Alton Bay to Wolfboro it's a big road, so it's Laurel says the camera does not show how bad it really is. Yeah, the off kilters and stuff. No, I told people it looks like you're not getting this video here does not give you the sensation of really how fast I was driving. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that I was driving 900 miles an hour. But if you do the speed limit or just over the speed limit on these roads, you're flying. You are flying. Laurel says doesn't show the elevation drops either. Right, exactly. You don't, right? You don't get we call the tummy bumblers and stuff like that. You don't. It evens everything out at most. And I'll blame it on I've got the camera on horizon leveling. That's why you can see the car moving. You know, going right and left underneath it, you know, tilting, but the horizon stays straight. And that's really what you see when you're driving, because you keep your head you keep your head straight. But your other sensations make up for the fact that the road is tilting around you, and you lose about 2/3 of that sensation just because the video is not giving you all the rest of that data. There's the cemetery. Somebody had asked how big that was and how old it is. I have no idea how old it was, but from where you saw the fencing, that's about a quarter of the cemetery length. Oh, it was you, Laurel? Yeah, it was about a quarter of the length of the cemetery. And this is a beautiful covered bridge. We have a lot of them. I know we discussed that before. The reasons why the covered bridges were designed is because it lets the bridges last longer. Here's another lore. It's good luck if while going underneath a covered bridge, driving through it, you kiss your partner. It's good luck. And now this is where the valley opens back up again. So you can see the mountains ringing it around. This is the Jack-O-Lantern Resort. It's on both sides of the road. That's a major highway. That whole route that we drove, that you saw right there, you can do it in no time by just jumping on that highway. And this is coming into Lincoln. I should post up that there's not much to see in Lincoln. It's a tourist town, but I should post up the video of driving through Lincoln from the bottom of Lincoln to the Black Mountain Burger Company, which is my favorite burger joint in the world. In the world. It's my favorite one. Had burgers all over the place. Lots of states, several countries. They do it best. Yeah. New Hampshire. Beautiful state. Beautiful state. The missus grew up here, so. Here I am. Ta-da. Oh, here I am. And logistically, it's an awesome state. I still got a bit of a slow internet connection, but I haven't lost signal, so that's a good thing. Peggy's been all quiet. Of course, I think Peggy multitasks most of the show most of the time, doesn't she? What do they do to the burgers? They cook them right. It's as simple as that. It's good beef, juicy, thick, and cooked right. Toppings are good, buns good, home fries are good. Everything's good. It's just quality. It's what makes a really good burger isn't necessarily doing something special. It's doing things right. Never had a burger not cooked right there. You want a medium rare burger, you're going to get a medium rare burger. Good flavors. So yeah, they've got a 1 pounder. Boy, I've had that. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 times. At least twice. At least twice. Not this last time that I went up there. This last time I went up, I had my default is their mushroom and Swiss burger. It's my default. But they have other burgers, and that's fine. But the time before that, I had the pounder, and the pounder is a classic American burger, so it's got the pickles, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard. That's huge. It's huge. The problem is I've got another, hour and change driving home. Peggy says, yes, I'm listening to both you and The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, my favorite show. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. Laurel says, mushroom and Swiss. Yes. Yeah. Especially when I'm out, when I'm out and I'm quite a ways from home. If I'm close to home, okay, let's experiment. Even like in Winnipesaukee, there's some Firehouse burger at one of the joints down there that I enjoy. It's a spicy burger. When I'm up in Lincoln, where I'm an hour and a half from home, no, I don't get creative. I go for the simple stuff. So again, a mushroom Swiss burger. Oh, it is huge. It's a lot of. The missus laughs. She goads me into it. She's like, "Oh, you can do it. No, you got to have it. You got to have it." It's like, oh, crap. Yeah, it is big. It is a big ass burger. Like I said, 2 or 3 times. That's it. But you're normally the regular size burgers are damn well they're big enough. They're big enough. I don't care. You can be a big guy and you're not going to be hungry with a regular burger. Now the pounder, oh, Jesus, that's a big burger. Yep. Definitely not hungry. That's usually that's a pretty miserable ride home. I got to admit it. That's a miserable ride home. Eat the pounder burger and huge helpings of fries because they're not skimpy on their fries or their onion rings, and yeah, that's not a fun ride home. It's just you're too heavy. You're packed in there, so it's like no. But I've done it. I've done it. Indeed, you could serve a small family with that burger. It's pretty big. Starting to get stuffy now. (9:27). Got about another half an hour left. So I think the show has gone pretty well. Again, we need to get the folks back over here. Not that I mind talking. It's whatever, I'll talk. But oh, goodness. And then we found another pizza joint that we like. Sal's Pizza. I think they got a couple locations. We go to the Hooksett location. It's in the dough, folks. Fresh ingredients and the dough. The dough matters. They're opening up Texas Roadhouse in Concord again. I don't know when it's going in, but the pad's been cleared, so that'll be there. That'll be nice, so we don't have to drive to Manchester, which is the closest Texas Roadhouse. Used to go to Longhorn. Not so much anymore. Peggy says, hang in there, John. It's just that time of year when people have the places to go and people to see. Yeah. We'll keep the show going wrong. Judy says, what was that place that had the huge burgers? You could cut it like a pie. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, this pounder burger that they have there isn't. It's two half-pound burgers together. So the burger itself isn't much bigger around than a normal one. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Let's see here. Well, there's a bunch of pictures of burgers. Let's world's greatest hamburgers. Fuddruckers? Are you talking about there's Fuddruckers. Judy says Ed's. Or says, oh, the dough. And we live in Minnesota. We couldn't find a good pizza place. My hubby tried to find good dough recipe. We were so sick of pizza that the rest. Yeah. It's dough. You gotta. It's the dough. Where can you buy the biggest? They say the biggest one in the world you can buy is in Detroit. Melly's Sports Bar and Grill, Detroit. It's 816.4 kilograms. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not a kilogram kind of guy. Exactly. How long to cook burgers on the grill? It depends. Depends upon the cut of beef. It depends. Here is a trick to make sure that your burgers come out right on the grill. People don't do this. You sear it on either side. Well, on both sides, not on either. Sear it on both sides. Move it off direct heat. So put it up on the warming tray part of the grill or on an unused part of the grill. Like if it's a kettle grill, that's good because it should be cooking half heated, half unheated. And then cook it like you finishing it in an oven. So you put the lid back on and you cook it till it's a medium rare, and that's it. Don't keep cooking it over the heat. You'll get flare-ups. You'll overcook your burger all the time. Take it off the direct heat. You'll get a juicy burger every time. You'll get it cooked right every time. Right, then you have a hockey puck. Yeah, everything's overcooked. Or you'll take it off too soon because you're burning the outside and then the inside won't be cooked enough. A lot of people don't like raw hamburger. That's fine. I'll eat it. It's not a problem. But perfect burger is medium rare. Sear it on both sides. Take it off your direct heat. Close the lid. Let it finish cooking. The same way you do your steak. Don't cook your steak permanently over. Sear it on both sides. Move it off the heat. Finish cooking it. When I cook my steak inside, same thing. Cast iron frying pan, hot as hell. Sear it good. Get a good sear on both sides. Put the thermometer in the thickest part of the steak. Set your thermometer to 117 degrees. Take it out, put it in the oven that's set at 350 degrees. Close it. Turn off your burner, and wait for that thermometer to tell you it's at 117 degrees. Take it out. Take the steak off the pan, off the cast iron frying pan. Put it on just a regular plate. I usually put it on glass. Put it on a glass plate. Set aside. Wait 5 minutes. It'll be perfectly medium rare. Every freaking time. Perfect sear on both sides. Perfect nice pink all the way through it. Don't be afraid to use a thermometer. Now, Laurel, was any of the names that were tossed up for that burger ring a bell for you? And yes, the burger technique that I said works with frozen burgers as well. It works just as well with a frozen burger. I have no problems. I'm not a burger snob. I'll eat a frozen burger. I'll eat a hand-pressed burger. Doesn't make any difference to me. Just cook it right. Just cook it right. Judy says my mouth is watering. Steak is my thing. My favorite meal. It's got to be my favorite meal. If I had to go to, it'd be either a ribeye or a New York strip. A ribeye and a New York strip go head to head if they're both marbled right. But if you're going to roll the dice and you're going to go, okay, which one's going to be substantially better or consistently better? New York strip. Get a nice New York strip. Medium rare. 5 large, is it sea scallops or bay scallops? Whichever. I always get them mixed up. The big scallops, not the little ones. The big scallops. 5 of those scallops, seared golden brown on either side in garlic and butter. Sauteed summer squash, and either home fries or tater tots. Again, I'm not a potato snob. I'll eat tater tots. That's fine too. That's in an ice cold beer. That's heaven. Simple food done right. Now, I like a lot of stuff, and folks that follow my content know that we end up cooking a lot of neat stuff here. Just had my youngest birthday. It's our tradition that birthday people get the meal of their choice, so that's what they do. And she wanted beef stroganoff with sourdough, so we got sourdough bread, made up beef stroganoff, and we usually make it with whatever cut of beef is is most affordable at the time at the store. Now you can do it with hamburger and stuff like that, but tell you what, if you take the time and you make your steak like you normally make your steak, the way I just described it, and then you slice that up thin and use those thin slices in your beef stroganoff, oh, it's heaven. Laurel says, New York strip, sautéed mushrooms and onions on the side, twice baked potatoes and asparagus, glass of red. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Yep. Yep, mushrooms and onions. Oh, another way for mushrooms and onions I like is if you can, if you put just like a dash of Worcestershire sauce in it and just a dash of a little bit of whole grain mustard in it when you're sauteing them up. It's like, oh my goodness. It takes those the mushrooms and the onions and just brings them to a different place. Yeah, Judy says, all of the above, love asparagus with my steak. Yeah, asparagus is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But yeah, baked potatoes is good. Cheese. Throw some cheese in there. Oh, and we talked about mashed potatoes. A lot of different ways to make mashed potatoes. We like making. We do ours with like garlic and onion powder in them, butter, a little bit of milk or cream, onion and garlic powders, and then fresh, finely diced jalapenos folded into it. It's like, oh, and then you serve that and throw some dollop of sour cream on the top, maybe some a little bit of cheese of your choice. It's like, oh, it's wonderful. Laura says, I'm the only one in the family that actually likes mustard. Oh, terrible. Mustard's good. It's good for you, too. I like doing a mustard sauce for pork. And a whole grain. I use multiple types of mustard, but you got to have the whole grain mustard in as well. Adds that little pop when you're eating it. Oh. Hey, Gus. Gus says, good evening, everyone. Was busy getting another air in, and we were having company for a few days. You're making my mouth water. Well, good. That serves you. Coming in late. Judy says, Worcestershire and the mushrooms is my secret ingredient. Right. Like I said, and you don't need a lot. You just need enough to just change it. I'm not a Worcestershire sauce guy on my steaks and stuff, but as an ingredient, oh, it's the way to go. So you still have everybody at the house, Gus, or is everybody left? You might be able to hear, maybe not. I got the AC blasting. I've got the fan on low, and I've got the AC about 2/3 of the way up. It's helped out tremendously in the studio. Show has been fairly good. You missed the drive. I had the video playing in the video section right over there, and before that I did a two loop on the canoe video as we were talking. Oh, fantastic. He says, just them. He said, just us, says Gus. But tomorrow we get to see the grandkids. Awesome. I'm going to make another roost for the gals tomorrow. I got the 2 befores today. I told folks I put in a new the hell it is. It's not an evaporation thing. It's a it stops the vapors. It's a vapor purge on your fuel line into the engine. In Zippy today. Now it's running great. Great. It was not happy. It was not happy. Was not firing. Had one bank running lean for a while, and too many vapors getting into the chambers, and rough idle and getting it started. And wasn't always a fun thing. Worked fine when you got the car running out on the road, but sitting at idle and stuff like that, not happy. So replaced that part, and she's running like a champ now. It's the little things. Good job on your new goodies there, Mr. Gus. Sure Sally is going to be having an awesome time. Now everyone got quiet. Can't because of loss of signal. I have no latency problems tonight at all from what I can see. I have not got a single warning. Don't know if you saw, Gus. I got notified today that the new paddle should be shipping probably tomorrow. So I'll get notification of the tracking number. It's coming all the way from California, so probably take 2-3 days. Oh, here we go. Hey, Mr. Gus.
Hey, you know how much I hate typing.
Yeah.
Speaking of air conditioners, is mine a little loud?
Whose?
Mine.
Oh, I don't even hear yours.
Oh, good.
Do
Because
you?
we're sitting on.
Oh, do you
We're
hear?
sitting on. No, I can't hear yours either.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
No, we're sitting on the porch and it's right here, running.
Let it run. Let it run.
Yeah.
It's still not as humid as it's been, not as hot as it's been, but it's still hot and humid enough, especially up on the studio's on the second floor, so it's always hot up here.
Oh yeah. Well, we were upstairs moving a room around because Sally's son and daughter-in-law and the 2 kids are coming up tomorrow. And then later on this week, we're going to all go up to camp.
Oh, cool. Now that's from Connecticut?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, okay, people in the room listening, not in the Zoom room, but out there on YouTube, how are our voices? Our voice volume about matched up? Gus's and mine. But you see, Gus, I got everything up and running. So
You did.
slightly different layout, different. Like the Zoom room was bigger but shorter. Now it's narrower but longer, which is fine.
Yeah.
But now I don't have to switch like when I'm doing the internet stuff. I don't need to switch to another screen. I go to a different. Now it's big enough that it's fine. Makes things easier. Like I said, boom, throw the camera. Boom, hey, camera off. Yay. It's like when my nose starts itching, it's like, oh my goodness, gotta throw the camera off. Okay, and then come back, and there we are. So it is working fine.
Yeah, everybody says it sounds great.
Yeah. Thank you, gals, for letting us know. Because sometimes, like when Donna was on, her voice was just way louder than mine, and I can't tell by my volume peaking here. So I have to go by, hey, you guys let me know if somebody's voice is over-drowning. Same way as the last show I was running some music really faint in the background, and it was on one on my end, so it was really, really quiet. And they're like, no, it's too distracting. Well, I listened to the show afterwards, like, yeah, it's a lot louder going out than what it's showing on my system. So
Yeah.
yeah, you missed Al. Al joined the show earlier.
I was looking back. Yeah, I saw some of it.
Yeah, he's still having a rough time. His health is definitely not in very good place. So you're going to tell everybody the good news?
Sally and I pulled the trigger today on a new camper.
And it looks pretty.
Yeah. Yep. We figured, you know what? We're not getting any younger, and what you can put off, for next week or tomorrow, you may not be here. So.
Yeah, the other one didn't look like it was in that bad a shape, but
no.
Hey, is this one a little smaller?
No, it's a little bit bigger.
A little bigger. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's got a different layout, and it's actually way more spacey inside because of the layout. The one slide is actually a little bit wider than the other, so the existing one we have right now, so that gives us a couple more feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bedroom, the new one, we're going to be able to stand up in it. That's huge.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd ask about shower height, but I don't think for you two it matters quite the same thing as with me.
Well, it's standard shower height.
Yeah.
So.
I can't. The standard shower heights, even in those the luxury ones, they're just too damn low. You got to, if you're over 6 foot tall, you really need to look for super. They make them super tall. You can get them put in. It's like,
Well, let's put it this way. I've told you that I have my son Vinny, and he's 7 feet.
Yep.
And I have to make him bend over so I can reach the top of his head. But we have the shower head actually is on a hose, and you can pick it up and take it off.
Oh, that's helpful. Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier.
Yep. That was a good thing I told you about when I redid the shower enclosure over our clawfoot tub. It's like I could decide. I'm tired of showers hitting you right in the face because that's what it was. It's like, oh, I can put it up there. So it's like, this is what normal people feel like when they're in a shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, Judy says congratulations. Yes, absolutely congratulations. It looks beautiful. Now, when do you say you get delivery on that?
In 2 weeks. Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Oh, man.
We sign on it next week and then hand them a check, and then we'll get a delivery date. But we've actually got to haul in some gravel so that as soon as we pull the old one out, I got to bust my butt and shovel a whole bunch of gravel into the site so that it just kind of takes up a little bit more. And then I'll lay my boards back down, and then he'll drive it on and set it up.
Yeah, good. What are you going to do with the? You said you sold the other one. They're going to take the old one. Oh, good deal. Yeah, just like an appliance swap. Take the old one, and bring in the new one. That's great. So you don't have to do anything.
Nope.
Awesome.
And that takes a big load off my mind, so that I don't have to worry about hauling it. And then trying to sell it. Have 50 people come and beat me down and say, "Oh, it's not worth this. It's not worth that."
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that.
Yep.
They
Well,
didn't give us much of nothing for it, but I don't really care.
yeah, but you're not having to deal with the rest of the stuff.
Correct.
It's like
And
trading
that's
in
the
your
biggest
car.
thing.
You never get what you want out of it, but if you're not having to deal with, like you said, trying to sell it and the haggling and all that other crap, and
Yep.
you just take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yeah. Well, hey, they got to drive an hour and a half. So.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you pick that up at?
At a place that I said I'd never, ever, ever buy another camper from, and that's Camping World.
Camping World. it's a roll of the dice. But we talked about the camper sales and stuff like that on one of the other shows. It's always a roll of the dice now.
I've bought 2 campers from them, and I've not been happy with it, and that's all right.
Now this location, was it the one with the big flag?
Yeah, it's the one in Chichester.
Chichester, yeah. Yeah, I think they were
have another one.
They're still flying the flag. They were
yeah.
they were told to take it down because it didn't meet code, and they basically told them to kiss their ass, and they're still flying the flag years later, so. But go ahead, you were saying what?
And it's a huge flag too. It's not. It's got to be what, 30 by 40.
Oh, I'd say it's bigger than that. Yeah. Let's find out how big it is, because I'll bet you they've got it, because it made news. It probably made national news.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I watched it fly today.
Let's see here.
So is everybody else?
Yes, as they say, they've got there's depends upon the location. One is a 30 by 60, one's a 40 by 80. I think theirs has got to be the 40 by 80 because it looks bigger than 30 by 60. It's huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
It is huge. Go ahead. What were you saying, Gus?
I was just wondering if Judy or Peggy or Laurel, if they've gotten they probably haven't gotten the rain that we have here. Boy, it was horrible.
Yeah, but we're not as bad as Vermont. Vermont got hit worse than we did, so.
Well, the southwestern part of New Hampshire got hammered really bad around Keene and a lot of places there. Swansea, they had roads. Route 10 got washed out.
Well, good for them. The rest of the state got washed. What was it? 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
All over the state got washed out. So this wasn't too bad. I'd say this wasn't too bad in comparison. Vermont, like I said, Vermont's been hammered. They got hammered. But yeah, Gus asked you gals in various other parts of the country whether you've been hit. I know there's been a bunch of places around the country that was hit. Not quite as bad as we were up here, but.
Well, I know, in the Midwest, they're bone dry.
Yeah, Peggy says in Missouri they're still in the
they're
drought.
In drought.
Yeah, it's the way of things.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad that you kids have been having fun. Man, you're always running up there to camp, back and forth. Gus would send me pictures of, I did this. You jacked up the trailer one day and enjoying another day. It's like, yeah, I've been running all over the place. Judy says it's been storming pretty much daily there in Oklahoma. Lost power last night. Trees were down. Lots of rain. Laurel says, let's just say that when I mow the lawn, I create a dust storm. Okay, so Laurel's...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Laurel's got no... Yeah, we don't... My backyard looks like a jungle now. but I haven't been able to get to it. Thankfully, before the last few days of rain, I was able to get the front lawn done, which looks absolutely beautiful. I've shown Gus the pictures of the landscaping and stuff that I've done out there for the missus, and it just looks beautiful.
Yeah, it did look really nice.
That's a little addition to the front.
Yeah, it's the simple things. It's little things. Gus didn't want to hurt my feelings. He was like, yeah, it's not saying you didn't do a whole lot, but no, not really. I didn't. I mean, I did some minor trim work. It's just little things. Took time to do it, but it was just myself, and I wasn't rushing. I think the last corner feature I did took maybe an hour total, which is a long time in that weather. But it's. I've got some
when
more
it was
paint
90 degrees
and
really
300% humidity.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Yeah, the missus was sitting on the front porch and had my iced tea waiting there. It's like, here. But yeah, it looks wonderful. It's little things.
Well, it's like the camper. It took me in total about 9 hours, and that was in 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was a chore. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't get Sally out there working?
She was keeping an eye out on. I had one of our neighbors up there. He came over and helped me, and she was keeping an eye on both of us. Make sure we didn't drop I did drop the trailer once.
A supervisor role. Somebody's got to do it.
I started picking it up. I dropped it about 3 inches, and all the neighbors heard it go bang.
Mm. Be
Sally
careful.
said, "You all right?" I said, "Yep."
He's over on the other side going, "I'm okay. I'm all right."
Yeah. Yeah, be careful.
It's when you don't hear anything for a few seconds after it happens that you can.
Yeah. If you hear yelling and screaming, okay, they're alive. They might be hurt, but they're alive. It's when you don't hear anything. You go,
Right.
Yeah.
That's when you don't want to look.
Yeah, it's like, but you gotta look. It's okay. I've got all my arms and legs.
That's right.
They're not all attached, but they're all here.
I got plastic bags and ice.
Yeah, plastic bags and ice. Well, you're $6 million man anyways.
Yeah.
You're under warranty. Hey, can I get an upgrade while I'm getting this replaced? Oh.
Yeah.
We've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I just wish the places would stop telling me that, we can refinance your house for you. It's like, look, working on a 30-year mortgage as it is. Leave me alone. I'm not willing. I don't want to start all over again because you think you're going to give me a better rate. Stop it.
Yeah, we refinanced a couple of years ago, and I don't think it's going to get much better than that. I think it was 2.2 1/4 or 1.8%, something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So you're not going to get any better than that.
No. Trying to think what our rate is. I think it's somewhere around there. And of course, it was. I've owned several houses, but I never used my VA loan until this one. So I used it for this one. So I didn't have to. No down payment.
Yep.
It's like, good.
That's
good
what
rates.
it's there for.
Yeah.
You might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, I don't like people know me. I don't wear veteran hats or clothing or shirts, or I don't have veteran stickers. I don't do that. And if there's Veterans Day and you get a special discount, I don't do that. It's free meal. I don't do that. It was an honor to serve my country. I don't think ill of people who take advantage of the deals that are out there. But for me, I was like, okay, I got what I was paid. It was pretty shitty how it all ended, but whatever. I just don't. So like I said, this time I said, let's do the VA.
Yeah.
And,
Well, it's like my brother, he for years and years and years. I mean, well over 35 years, he never even took advantage of nothing. And then
right.
finally, he just, we talked him into it, and it was the best thing he ever did.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, is that no down payment.
Yeah.
So.
But I can give you another example. Like my father was a veteran, and he never once used it. I mean, he got the veterans discount for taxes here in town,
Mm-hmm.
but when it come to anything else, he wouldn't do it. So, the what is it? The insurance that they offer, it's the I think it's the Air Force insurance, but it covers all branches of the military. USAA.
Yeah, USAA.
But
Yeah.
that's also good for all of his children.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that he would have had to have registered for it, and if he'd have done that, like all of, my brother could have gotten his, and my sister and myself, but
yeah,
he wouldn't do it. So
yeah, yeah. I'm not doing that. I got a good deal on everything else anyway. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy. It was 10:04. You came in late.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but hey, the show was flawless. So.
Yeah. Well, we just got done, so.
No, that's great.
We're busy.
They were staying with you, you said?
They're going to be, yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, you just had company today?
No, I have two sons. One of them's Vinny, who's 28. My other son he'll be 19 on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
And they come over to the house and they go up to camp with us. And then
okay.
I've got another daughter who invited herself up this weekend.
Hey.
So
the more the merrier.
Saturday night we had there was 6 of us in the camper.
Oh wow. You don't have a pop-up tent, throw them outside?
We did, but
okay.
It was going to be very stormy that night, so I didn't really want them out.
Yeah. Good experience
They'd be
for
dragging themselves and everything in during the middle of the
Yeah.
What was that, Sally?
They would have been dragging themselves in the camper in the middle of the night, so
pussies.
might as well just keep them in.
Get out there. Go. Tie that down.
No. I got a heart.
Yeah, well, look, I've got a heart. I just have a really good sense of humor, too. So it's like,
Yeah.
No, yeah, the weather's been nasty. It's been nasty. It wouldn't have been bad if it was just like just a casual shower or something, but
well, it really wasn't bad Saturday. Saturday was a beautiful day. It didn't really get crappy until just before dark up there. And then it rained a little bit at night, and then the next day Sunday was absolutely beautiful up there.
Yeah, see, if that was the case, because it wasn't that nice here for some of the times. Yeah, get in a tent. Go.
Yeah, it's only one night.
Yeah, and when you got that many people over, anyways, it's just, and they're not in your room anyways. You guys have a separate room, right? So they slept in the like what you got, drop down dinette and a couch that pulls out.
Couch.
Yeah.
Then we got 2 bunks that the 2 boys slept in.
Oh, so you even have a bunk section.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's plenty of room. It's plenty of
And
room.
Libby kept them company.
Yeah, and Libby was in there, and she was crawling up on the thing trying to snuggle with them both.
Libby.
That's our dog.
Oh, your dog. Okay.
Yeah.
See, Libby doesn't get much name time on the show. It's usually the parrot. So.
Yeah, she's a tweeny golden retriever.
A tweeny golden retriever.
Tweeny. Yeah, she's a tweenager.
Oh, age-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Was she about 9 months old or something like that?
No, she's actually 2.5.
2.5. Well, that's not a tweenie.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness, that's an adult by that time.
No.
Well, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah,
she acts like a teenager.
She acts like a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Young at heart. But yeah, I consider when a dog hits a year to a year and a half, that's an adult. They're young adults, but they're not like 9 months. They're like teenage. That's 9 months. But yeah. Yeah. Oh. Young at heart's fine though.
Well, she still bounces around and everything else. She probably will until she's about 8.
Yeah, Hudson doesn't bounce around anymore. He's getting old. Just notice he's losing a little bit of weight. He's still eating, so I don't know what the deal is.
So does he park it? Well, you don't have an air conditioner where he can park his nose in front of you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Only the heater.
Only the heater, right. Yeah, but that's off in the summertime. But yeah. Yeah, that might be part of it. He's got a sore on his nose, and I never thought about it. It's probably residual from him shoving his nose in the heater all winter. Makes sense. Didn't even think about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Because he's got the classic. He's got a couple fatty tumors on him. He's that age now, so I keep an eye on those. What were you saying, Sally?
Put a little bit of balm on it.
Yeah.
On his nose.
He does pretty good. If he stays outside in the backyard, he's got his fenced-in area too long, then he'll get it aggravated. I think he's got plant allergies or something, so that doesn't help it out much. But yeah, he's getting old. I was feeling down his back, and his back to rib area was little bit thin for my liking. Not dangerous, but he usually carried a little bit more weight than that. He's getting old.
It's tough when they get to be old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you know what's coming.
Yeah, the missus says this is the last one again. As I said again.
Well, who decided on getting this one?
Who do you think?
You.
No. No. Same here with the cat. No. Hudson. No. I was perfectly fine without animals. I was perfectly fine without them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we rescued Puffin and we rescued Hudson. Got a little bit of a shady deal there, but I've talked about that. But yeah, it's time for another one. After Gracie, it was like, no, I put down too many dogs. And yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
No, and but then she's like, oh, we need another dog. It's like, but you said no more dogs. Oh, we need another dog. Okay, we'll get a dog. So we got Hudson. So now we got the chickens. Got the chickens and Hudson and they're growing. Oh my goodness, they don't look like little girls anymore. They're really their feathers have come in full, and they got like dark feathers underneath their chins now. Then they're all different. I can start to tell them apart. I don't know their names. Still, I couldn't tell you what their names are, but I know what chickens are which. And we got one that flies, and we got one that they're coming up. I can stick my hand between the door things and They come right up and I'll pet them and stuff. And we'll do the same thing when I go inside the run. But yeah, they're definitely interesting.
Oh yeah.
They'll be giving us eggs by fall, so that'll
That's
be
good.
okay. Put up some roosts. We got a wide board roost. It's about a foot wide by 2.5 feet long, 2 feet off the ground. They love that. They all get up there and they'll all be together. I got a smaller one that looks almost like just a little park bench, and that's like 1.5 feet off the ground. It's about 8-inch wide or 8-inch deep, and then maybe 2 feet wide. And tomorrow I'm going to be putting up, I think it's about a 4 foot. I'm going to do a 2x4, 2 feet up, 4 feet across. So it'll be a 2x4 roost for them, because we've noticed that they said they don't roost on a regular roosting pole, but we've been seeing them sit on them, because I've got some structures on the bottom parts of the other roosts that I made, and they sit on them. So I'm going to go going to try that 2x4, 4 foot, and do it so they're sitting on the 4-inch, not the 2-inch. And that'll be 2 feet off the ground. We'll see whether they like that. If they like that, when I build the actual coop, I'm going to do one big shelf, similar to their biggest roost that I've got out there right now. And then I'll put in maybe a couple 2x4 step down lowers that they can rest on, but one big one that that they can all enjoy. It'll save on lumber costs, but I've got to test them first on the 2 foot off the ground, 2x4, 4 foot long. We'll see how they like that first. Gus goes, sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see how they like that. They're happy. Oh, they are so happy. And today they were really happy because it was not as hot and it was not as humid as it's been days since previous. But they're fine.
Well, I've never found that the heat really bothers any of the ones I've ever.
Oh yeah, heat's actually more dangerous than cold is for the chickens. It was the humidity, though. If you can keep them, we throw the water, and the missus did a cold water and their feed, made a mush out of it, and then threw in frozen blueberries, and they love that. Cools them down.
Oh yeah. See, the only thing you got to worry about with chickens is when it rains out, because they are stupid enough that they will look up and they keep their mouth open and they will drown.
Well, that's another good thing about the way we've got our run is it's covered from end to end on the roof area.
Yeah.
So don't have too much of that problem there. But yeah, chickens aren't the smartest things in the world. I mean, they're not as stupid as some people think they are, but they're not very bright. And they know their people. They get to know their people.
Oh yeah.
With me, it's my voice. I talk to them in this voice, and then I have my chicken. I talk to them in chicken, which is.
Let me hear you. I want to make sure that it's appropriate. How do you talk to them? Hello?
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
No,
You didn't hear that?
I didn't.
Gus, did you hear that?
Nope.
You didn't hear that. Did anybody on YouTube hear that? I'll do it again.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Did you hear it that time?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, Laurel said she heard it too. Yeah, that's my chicken. That sounds almost what they sound like. So that's my chicken voice, and they know my chicken voice, and they know my real voice. See, because when I go out, sometimes I'm wearing my cowboy hat, and sometimes I'm wearing a baseball cap. Sometimes I'm not wearing any cap. And then, like, in the morning, I'm wearing, like, sweatpants and a T-shirt, which is totally different than what I normally look like. So I don't look the same, but my voice is always the same.
Yeah.
Judy says, "Oh, my God, LMAO. What? You're laughing at my chicken talk?" Peggy says, "I heard it." Yeah, see, it sounds like a chicken. That's what they sound like.
Now, see, my chicken voice was girls.
No, but that
Girls.
no. That's your real voice.
No,
But
it's
that's how you address them. Yeah, I just talk to him. I just talk to him just like I talk just right now. It's like, "Oh, you goofy girls." It's like, "Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, come on over here." And then to give me the chicken kisses. We go, "Chicken kisses." Yeah, they peck at you. Chicken kisses.
Yeah.
And how they peck determines their affection as well, because there's a mean peck, and then there's what I call chicken kisses, and they're just light pecks, and they just similar to what they do to each other, and they just chicken kisses. So they give me my chicken kisses in the morning.
Well, I used to go out and collect eggs. Once in a while, I would wear flip-flops,
Mm-hmm.
and they pecked the shit out of my toes.
They peck the shit out of your toes. Yeah. They like my. I have slippers that I wear in the morning, and they're not open, but they're not fuzzy, but they're not leather, but they're cloth, but they're black, whatever.
Yeah.
And they just peck those. Yep.
It looks like food.
It does, right? Especially if you've got any like fuzzies on it or anything like that,
Yeah.
they'll just clean it right off.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they do they'll run. I'll go outside and be on the porch and kind of look over and say, "Hey, where are the girls?" And they'll be out in the back someplace. Or sometimes what I'm running right now is I don't bring them in at night anymore. I just have the tent zipped half in the front, so they can go in and out as they want. So sometimes they're in it during the day, and sometimes they're not, and sometimes they in it during at night, and sometimes they're not. And I'm letting them decide what they're going to do. And they'll come out, they'll look at me, and then they'll run the racetrack. I call the racetrack. It's they run around the tent, because I've got like a 1.5 foot behind the tent, and then I've got the two sides. So they just run around the tent a couple times, and they run to the front and they say, "Hey," it's what they do. They're chickens.
I just want to make sure you're watching.
Yeah, because they're having fun. They're not afraid. They just run around the racetrack a couple times, and then run to the front, and give you your chicken kisses and talk to you. And they love the roost. They'll jump up on the roost and they'll sit there. I'll sit on the porch, put the porch steps, and my head's just a little bit higher than the roost at that point, and they'll just sit there and they'll just talk to you. And it's like, okay. They like their humans.
Oh, yeah. I used to go in and talk to them all the time, and I'd make the old and they'd cock their head sideways and look at me.
See, that's your chicken talk. See, I don't do that. I just do my. That's my chicken talk. That's I don't bark. But yeah.
Then when I would pet them, some of them would squat right down so that you could pet them, and they would stay there. Others would run off.
Yep, some do. Yeah, I've got some runners. Most of them don't run; they'll just move away. And I've got two that they'll just hunker right down while you're petting them. Some like it underneath the neck and the upper chest area. Some like to be rubbed just underneath the chest. You find out which ones like what. Yep. They all have their own personalities, and
oh yeah,
their eyes look different. You know, they'll
Yeah.
be, some will be darker and some will be brighter. They look different. And when they were young, they were pretty much almost all the same. But as they're growing up, they're definitely different. Hey, Peggy says I have to go now. Still have stuff to do. Good night, all, and thank you, John. Hey, you're most welcome, Peggy. Thank you for stopping in. It was a wonderful show. I'm glad that there was more interaction and more people are starting to show up. We need to get them all over here.
Thanks, Peggy.
And Judy says, night, night, Peggy. Laurel says, good night, Peggy.
Yeah. I suppose we ought to go off. We got appointments in the morning.
I went a little. I was going to shut it down right at 10, but you came in late, so I was like, okay, as long as we're yakking about things, we'll talk a little bit longer.
Yeah.
The AC in the studio is, it is so much nicer.
Yeah.
It really is helping out, and I think the computer's probably much happier as well.
Well, tonight when we were moving a few things around in the room, and then we put the air conditioner in, and Sally went downstairs and came up, and I said, I think we're going to have to turn the air on tonight. And she said, you think so? And she said, I don't sweat, but I was sweating tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat so much. It's the humidity. Because even if it's hot, but if it's not humid, if you have just a decent fan going, you're okay. But just the humidity, your sweat just sticks there and it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, that's no, thank you.
And I don't know what happened today, because it really wasn't that bad today. But all of a sudden tonight, the humidity moved right in.
Yeah, one of those things. But hopefully we're going to wind down. Like you said earlier in the show, I got to get back out on the water. Got to get out.
Yeah.
Did you see that the new paddles coming in?
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. I forget what part when you came in and what I had told you. So.
Well, I'm like the rest of them. I get your feed on occasion, but I did see today that you posted about the paddles.
Yep.
But.
Yeah, Facebook is really hammering me. They're
yeah.
It's like, oh man, I went up for probably about 4-day stretch, and I was through the freaking roof, going up 1,000 new members each day. My reach was 6 million per day. It's like, holy crap. Well, it's because they stopped throttling me. Then they hit me with the violation, and it's like, oh, you sons of bitches. So now we're starting all over again. In the past 4 days, 70 new followers in 4 days. It's like,
really?
Yeah, that's nothing. That's almost a standstill.
Yeah, but it's still 70.
Yeah, it's still 70, but that's
I know.
that is February type numbers.
Yeah.
But I was then going 100, 200 a month easy. And then, like I said, the last spike, it was 1,000 a day to now back down there, which goes again to show you exactly when they throttle the reach and they throttle. Heck, like you're following my content and you want it in your feeds and you're not getting it because they're slamming everything down to the bottom.
I will say that I have not gotten one of them messages that says, would you like to see more of the Whiskey Cowboy? I have not gotten one of them, but
right.
I get them in other stuff.
Right, because what they've done is, and they sent me the Nastagram, they said, we can't recommend your page. It's like, stop it. Just leave people alone and let my stuff go in their feeds naturally. Let them request it. So yeah, they're cutting out my legs on several different fronts again.
Well, hopefully at the end of the month it'll come back.
Yeah, I got about a week left on this this punishment. So we'll see. So we'll see. In about a week, we'll see whether the numbers start rising again. Hopefully they will.
Yeah, and then hopefully you can stay here on YouTube. And
I'd like to stay on because it's easier. As long as my internet connection is working, it's easier. The folks that were watching it on Facebook say that it's better here anyways. And everybody has YouTube. So just migrate over. If you could spend the time, 2 hours plus for my show 3 times a week on Facebook, there's no reason why you can't do it on YouTube.
Right. And you also should make sure that other people know that they on YouTube they should like this show on there.
Right. Yes, they should.
Because I have noticed that there's no likes on your show.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. On my show closed tonight because I've revamped some stuff. You're going to I'll show you right now. I don't know if you're watching, but I'll.
Yeah.
My show end after I sign off, but before I close down, is going to look like that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. But that doesn't help the people that go early.
No. No, but it helps out on YouTube.
Right. And so you're right. So I'm going to have to make it an effort to point that out during the show while I'm doing it, and I'm going to post up on Facebook again too. So, but we need to get
Judy.
We need to get the people up.
Yeah.
Oh, is Judy going to bed now too? Everybody's going to bed. Good night, Peggy. Good night, Peggy. Good night, Judy. Good night, Laurel. Good night, everybody. Well, okay, but yeah, I'm going to shut down. Thursday's next show. Like I said, I'm going to have to think about whether I'm going to drop this down to 2 times a week or keep it up 3. If we can get at least this many, if not more, in, I'll keep it at 3. If we can't get the other people in, I might have to drop it down to 2 for a while and see how that goes. But, yeah, like, share, subscribe, and we need to get the people over from Facebook. But, hey, thanks for stopping in, Gus and Sally. It's good to have you back on again.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Have a good night,
you too.
everybody.
Good night, Laurel, Peggy, Judy, John Boy, everybody else.
Gilligan.
See you on Facebook and see you on the next show Thursday night. God bless and take care.